I believe that if we are honest with ourselves, that the most fascinating problem in the world is, who am I?
Let's take 100 men who all start even at the age of 25. If you asked any one of them if he wanted to be a success, he'd tell you that he did. And you'd notice that he was eager toward life. There was a certain sparkle to his eye, an erectness to his carriage, and life seemed like a pretty interesting adventure to him. But by the time these 100 men reach the age of 65, only 5 are successful.
If you want to do anything worthwhile in life, you've got to be hungry.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
Talent? I don't believe in talent. I have to have the will to win.
When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack Dempsey, there's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw, there's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart.
If you start a business, you better know your industry and your company better than anyone in the whole wide world, because you're competing. And to think that whoever it is you're competing with is just going to let you come in and take their business, obviously that's naive, and I think most people don't recognize that. If you're going to compete with me in one of my businesses, you better realize that I'm working 24 hours a day to kick your ass.
I'm afraid of something that's telling me you must do that. Most of us don't understand that mentality. We go left and we wonder why we haven't fulfilled something in our lives. You got to start diving into those things that you are afraid of.
Take stock of your present situation, because it's nothing more nor less than the result of your past sowing.
Because it's not about where you come from. It's about heart. You come to a place where, being smart ain't enough. You gotta have heart.
No special training, just be at the fight. I'm ready to back up everything I'm saying, and I'm through talking.
This is Sparta!
What do you feel when you say the word I myself?
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday night. So I wanted to jump on real quick and do a little Facebook Live with you all. Because there was something on my mind. I saw a post in the group, and it was related to a question that I was asked earlier. So I did a little guest expert interview for one of my top 1 clients for their summit, and I was asked this question about some of the attributes, characteristics of some of my top clients. He said, like, what do you see in your top clients, the ones that just came off the best year that they've ever had, the ones that are continuing to grow quarter to quarter? Like, what is different about those folks? And I shared with him just a few things that make those folks different. I just want to share one of those with you guys and gals here. And the one thing one of the things that makes these super successful clients, these super successful entrepreneurs, these marketers, these experts, these business owners that continue to grow quarter to quarter, what makes them different from the average is that they are not afraid to make mistakes. They're not afraid to take a shot and fail. They're not afraid to put up a campaign and have it not work. They're not afraid to put up an offer and not have it convert well. They're not afraid to test something new and have it not work. They know that ideas that don't fly, offers that don't convert, campaigns that don't attract wild attention is a normal and natural part of the business. This is not a game of us launching 10 campaigns and having 9 be Grand Slam home runs, right? You have to have the right expectations. And so I see often with a lot of newer marketers, newer entrepreneurs, newer experts, when it comes to their marketing, they agonize over every piece, over every word, over every phrase, over every sentence, over every image, over every little bit. They struggle with this perfectionist mindset, endlessly working on a campaign, end up taking weeks, sometimes months to release a campaign. And a lot of that is certainly, a lot of that is coming from this mistaken understanding of how there's value in the data, there's value in the metrics. We want to get our campaigns out and live as quickly as we can so that we can make the majority of our decisions from numbers, from data, and not from our own subjectivity. But a lot of it comes from fear. For whatever reason, they're afraid to roll out a campaign and not have it work, thinking that once it's rolled out, if it doesn't work, then they're dead in the water, then they're stuck. The reality is that this is a game, direct response marketing, building your business through effective marketing. This is a game of iteration. It really is a game of optimization, meaning it is a game of getting your stuff out there, getting it live, getting data back, and then using the data to diagnose and understand what's going on in the campaign, and then addressing that constraint, addressing that issue, addressing that problem through testing. And so the two things that I just really wanted to share, that I really wanted to get across, is that number one, you can't operate out of fear. Who cares if you put up a campaign and it doesn't work out of the gate? It doesn't change whether you're an entrepreneur or not. It doesn't change your identity. It doesn't change who you are. It's not an indication of how good you are or how capable or incapable you are, of what your future success is going to be like, or anything like that. It's a natural part of the game, right? And even great marketers, right? Even fantastic marketers, dare I include myself in that group, have ideas that don't fly, have campaigns that don't crush out of the gate, have offers that don't skyrocket in terms of sales on day one all the time, right? Even the best of the best have ideas and offers and campaigns and hooks and angles and products that end up having to get shelved. And so you've got to get out of your own way, and you've got to have the right expectations, and you've got to recognize that that's a normal part of the game. And like I said, you want to go from the engineering to the evaluating to ultimately the enhancing, the optimizing, the improving as quickly as you can. So meaning that you want to spend the least amount of time working on your campaign before you get it out into the wild, before you get the data back. You want to spend the least amount of time there, because all of the decisions that you make are purely subjective. They're based on your opinion, your feeling, what you believe, right? And the beauty of direct response is that it's all about numbers. It's all about the data. It's all about the math. It's not about what we feel, what we think, what we believe, what we want. It's just about the data. And so the longer you remain in that phase of engineering, of tweaking, of editing, of fixing, of changing, of working on this, without rolling it out, without getting data, the longer you are operating in that stage of subjectivity. That's not what we want. That's not what I want for you. That's not the way that you thrive. We want to get it out. And so you have to stop holding on to this fear of failure, whatever that means, right? I really, and it might sound cliche, it might sound like a pie in the sky, blue sky thinking, but I don't look at anything as failure. Failure is when you quit. Failure is when you give up on your dream of having a successful, thriving, growing business. That's failure. Failure is not when you roll out a campaign and it doesn't fly out of the gate. That's far from failure. First of all, even if you roll it out and you can't optimize it, you can't enhance it, you can't improve it, you can't dial it in, that doesn't mean that you're a failure. That means that you discovered what is not resonating with your market. That means that you've got one down. All right, we tried that idea. We rolled with that hook. We rolled with that angle. We rolled with that offer. We rolled with that product. That wasn't the right one. Next. And you got to have this mentality of next. Like, you got to have a short memory. You have to be willing to let it go. And so that was the first thing that I wanted to share. The first kind of fear that I just wanted to talk about. Stop being afraid of it not working. Big deal, right? It's okay. This is a game of iteration, a game of improvement. But the second thing that I want to focus on as it relates to fear is this fear of what other people are going to think. Right? Maybe you've got this fear of, right, they're not going to take it seriously, or people are going to mock me, or I'm going to get negative feedback, or people are going to complain, or whatever. Right? There was a question that was asked about that, like, what if I do X and it upsets some people? What if you do X and it does upset some people? So be it. Right? So be it. I hate to use the expression and have it, come off as crude, but, you got to break some eggs to make an omelet. Right. And so, like, look, and what I said in the group was in response to this idea, this number one is you can't operate your business based out of fear of what others are going to think. First of all, I don't understand. I wish there was one, there's a thing on my bucket list. I talked about this a couple weeks ago in our weekly Marketer's Mind memo that goes out. Tomorrow's memo is off the charts, so make sure you keep an eye out for the email for that. You're going to want to read it. But I talked about this in one of the memos recently, that one of the things on my bucket list is, I have 2 daughters, 2 teenage daughters, and I want to write a book for them on the life lessons, kind of just, like things that I wish I understood and knew earlier on, growing up, right? And one of those, and the one thing that, one of the many lessons that I want to share is, I really truly wish that earlier on I cared a lot less about what people thought. Like, my lesson really for them is be you. Be fully and authentically you. Let you shine through always and everywhere. And don't ever pander, change who you are, cower, right, to what other people are going to think, right? They either love you or they don't. They either care for you or they don't, right? They either appreciate you or they don't. They either value you or they don't. And either way, so be it, right? No matter what. Right? No matter what in life, right? No matter what, especially in marketing, especially in business, no matter what you do, no matter who you are, no matter what you create, no matter what you offer, you will never, ever make everybody happy. You will never satisfy everybody. You can go over to Amazon and take a look at books that have 5-star ratings, 5-star reviews, and what will you see? You'll see 2-star reviews. You'll see 1-star reviews. You'll see some people that talk about, I love this book, I love this movie, and others that say, I hated it, I despise it. I love this food, I love this restaurant, and others that say, I can't stand it, I would never go back. I recommend this person, I hate this person, or can't stand this person, right? You always have that. Right? People are so, and so my point is that number one is, right, is I don't understand why many marketers, many experts place so much stake in what other people think about their marketing. Right? At the end of the day, like, the people that you should care about are the people that are investing money with you, the people that are spending money with you. Right? The people that are clearly value what you do, that are willing to trade their time and money to get what it is that you have to offer, right? Those are the people that you should care in terms of what it is that they think. The others, let the haters come out. Who cares? Let the trolls come out. Who cares? The higher up you go, the more exposure you get, the more people are going to come out of the woodwork. If you think that I don't get negative comments on our ads or our posts or negative feedback here and there, man, you are mistaken. But I don't care, right? Because when you do things that you are proud of, when you do things that you believe in, when you do things with the right motives, when you do things for a select group of people, it doesn't matter what people outside of that group think or feel. Right? Like, and there are people that are just negative Nellies, man. They just want to bring others down. They think the way to make them feel better is to bring others down. You can't get caught up in that. And so I share that with you because, like, you can't operate out of fear. You can't operate wondering, like, what if I do piss somebody off? Well, what if you do piss somebody off? Right? Like, what if there are some marketers, some experts that would tell you, people like Dan Kennedy, for example, that would tell you, if you're not ruffling feathers, if you're not ruffling somebody's feathers once a day, then you haven't really put your flag in the ground and taken a stance on something. right? People don't remember the middle of the road. They remember extremes. Nobody, right? People talk about the coldest day, the warmest day. They don't talk about, like, remember the fourth day when it was just 71 degrees out? They don't talk about that. They talk about extreme. They remember extremes. You don't want to try to be plain vanilla so that you can try to appeal to everybody, right? Because you end up appealing to nobody. Nor do you want to place much stake in what other people have to say in terms of their feedback. Or if people get upset, like, you're going to have people that get upset at you at some point for, why are you charging for this product? Why are you charging so much for this product? Why don't you give it away? If you really care, do it for free. Why don't you have a nonprofit organization? Why don't you share your PDF? Why don't you do that? You can't get caught up in that. This is your dream. This is your business. Stay focused on the aim. If you're doing what you believe in and you're doing good work and solid work and you're doing it with the right motives, put those people aside. Put that aside, right? Like, do great marketing knowing that not everybody's going to be happy with it. Not everybody's going to love it. Not everybody's going to love you. But the reality is, no matter what you do, not everybody's going to love it. No matter what you do, no matter what you do, not everybody's going to love it. Your aim isn't or shouldn't be to have everybody fall in love with you. You're building a business. You're building a tribe. You're growing a following. You're growing, right? You're talking to who you're talking to. And so my point is, fears, like, let them go, because they're here, right? Fears, the fears that you possess. And everybody's got fears of some sort. But I can tell you that those two fears, the fear of releasing your campaign and having it not working, fear of releasing your offer and having it not produce crazy sales, fear of maybe this isn't the right headline, maybe there's a better one out there. You will always, if you stay in that loop, you'll always stay in that loop, because maybe there will always be, you could always make the case that maybe there's a better headline, maybe there's a better offer, maybe there's a better hook, maybe there's a better opener, maybe there is, but that doesn't mean that you should stay in that loop. Right. And so fear of get over it. Right. Fear it's just in your head. It's an invention. It's what you're seeing. It's what you're putting out there. It's what you are choosing to respond to, because there are other people that aren't. Right. They face the same criticism. They face the same pushback. In many cases, the more successful, the more pushback, the more obstacle, the more issues, the more reasons to have fear. But those people, my top clients, the best of the best, have learned to cast it aside, have learned to put it off, because it's here. That's all it is. It's in your head. If you're succumbing to that, you've chosen to allow yourself to succumb to that. I don't want that for you, right? Like, I really don't, I don't want that for you, because I know that will torture you, and it'll hold you back. And so let it go. Do good marketing, use the E5 method, obviously. Do good marketing, be proud of what it is that you're doing. Go from engineering to evaluation, the different stage in the E5 method, as quickly as you can. Use the numbers, and man, cares why do you care what other people think of you? Some people might think you're foolish for pursuing your business, for pursuing what you're doing, right? Like, let them, and keep going. Put them to the side. You got to be willing to, this is your dream, right? We're not playing a game here. This is your dream. This is your life. This is your business. So put those fears aside. Move forward. Use the E5 method. Do good marketing. Do stuff that you're proud of. Do it for the right reasons. And I promise you that if you stay committed, I'm gonna put one other thing here. And I said this going back to the interview that I did earlier for the summit thing. I said, one of the most popular videos that I've done for YouTube, and I don't do that many, but one of the most popular videos that I've done for YouTube was this off the cuff thing. I think I just exercised and I just put on my iPhone, and I talked about why I believe that most online marketers, whatever that means, won't be successful. And it's not, and what I said in that video years ago still applies today. And what I said was that it's not because the path isn't there. It's not because the opportunity isn't there. It's not because like being a successful entrepreneur requires some genius or innate talent or crazy intellect. I can tell you for sure, I do not possess any of that, right? I do not possess genius, despite what like people think and say. I'm no genius. I'm no crazy intellect. I was terrible in school, barely graduated high school, took, 6 years to get a 4-year college degree in something unrelated. I knew nothing about marketing, sales, advertising when I first started, but I became a student, right? The reason why most will fail is because most are not willing to sit down and do the work. They're not willing to sit down and just put their nose to the grindstone and move forward and put the fears aside, put the mistakes aside, recognize I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to triple on the way, right? Like, just like with a baby, with a toddler. I told you, I've got 2 teenage daughters. When they were toddlers, when they were infants, when they were little, and they started walking, you better believe they fell. We all fell along the way. They didn't stand up and walk perfectly, flawlessly out of the gate. We all fell. We all tripped. We all skinned our knee. Just that same thing is going to happen as an entrepreneur, right? But you've got to be willing to put your nose down and do the work. Like, do the work. One thing that I tell everybody, well, what's the secret? Like, Todd, what's your secret? I don't have a secret, right? I don't have a secret. I was always just willing to do the work. I was always willing to do what it takes. I was always willing to just continue to move forward. I knew that if others could get it done, I could get it done. I knew that if others could be successful, I could be successful. Right. And so I continued to move forward. I continued to take steps. I continued to do the work. I sat down and showed up. Inspiration or not, motivated or not, I sat down and did the work. And I promise you that will separate the men from the boys and the women from the girls, the people that achieve things and the people that don't. Right? The people that achieve, the people that are willing to do the work, that are willing to tune out the negativity, that are willing to put their fears aside, that are willing to act in spite of their fears. Right? And continue doing it until they reach their goal, which every one of you can. Every one of you can, because it's a choice. You will achieve success. I can't tell you it'll be next week. I can't tell you it'll be next month, but I can tell you for sure that if you stay at it, right? If you perfect and hone your skill, or I shouldn't say perfect, if you hone your skill, use the E5 method. Of course, I would tell you that. I would recommend that strongly, urge you to do that. But if you stay at it, I promise you, you will be successful. I promise you, you will be successful. And so with that, I hope that you guys have an amazing weekend. Little impromptu Friday night Facebook Live thingy. Love you guys. So appreciate you guys. And have an amazing weekend. Go get them.